This conference will now be recorded.
So if you start speaking while discussion, the unnecessary voice also will be recorded. Well, and from today we learn the test automation called automation testing. Seriously speaking, we should call it as test automation because we are trying to automate testing activities carried out on a project. Correct? We have to call it as test automation. Before we jump into the details, first let us have some brief discussion about the testing, then we jump into test automation. Testing. You know, any software application need to be tested before we deliver it to the customer. Agreed? Every software application need to be tested before we deliver it to the clients or release it to the market. Why? Because there are many technical activities involved in building a software. Many people involved, many technical activities involved. Gathering the requirements, preparing some technical documentation, preparing presentation layer, business layer, nothing but the code, database. So domain experts involved in gathering the requirement, design people involved in making the design, architect level, UI developers involved in building the presentation layer, UI, GUI, application developers involved in building the code, database people involved in building the database procedures and triggers. Precisely what I'm trying to say, many team members involved, many people involved, and there are many technical activities involved in building a software. At every stage of building a software, there are chances for doing mistakes, chances for wrong requirements, chances for wrong design. Also, there are chances for doing mistakes at coding. Because of the mistakes made at various stages of development, finally developed product may not work as expected. If I deliver an application to the client, which is not working as expected, means not meeting the customer business requirement, no customer will buy our product. See, developing a software is not important. Selling the software is important. Agree with me? Developing a software is not important. Selling the software is important. If I want to sell my software into the market, definitely I must provide a quality product, almost a bug-free product. In order to deliver a quality software, in order to deliver a bug-free product, definitely every application need to be tested before we deliver it to the customers. So testing is basically finding the defects before delivering to the client. If you find defects before delivering to the client, we have a solution. We report the defects to the development team who resolve the issues. We retest to confirm the reported defects are correctly rectified or not. In this way, we can able to deliver a good or a quality product or almost a bug-free product to the end customer. So testing is basically finding the defects. By validating functional requirements and non-functional requirements of the system, we can able to deliver a quality product. Look at this one. Finally, every software application need to be tested before we deliver it to the customers. Okay. What to be tested in the software application? Functional requirements and non-functional requirements of the system. We have to check functional requirements and non-functional requirements of the system. Functional testing and non-functional testing activities to be carried out. Validating all the functionalities working as per the customer requirements or not is called functional testing. What do you mean by non-functional? Checking the UI, usability, security conditions, browser compatibility, device compatibility, operating system compatibility, load, performance, all these comes under non-functional testing. So precisely every application, functionality is to be tested. Even non-functional requirements also need to be tested. But definitely no doubt, here high priority and first priority goes to functional testing. So here we are focusing on learning how to automate functional testing areas in a software application using the tool Selenium. And do remember, Selenium is a functional testing tool. We cannot do non-functional testing using Selenium. Non-functional testing, most of the non-functional testing activities are carried out with manual effort. Say UI. We will not write any code. We don't use any tool for doing UI testing. Only by seeing the application, we decide appearance-wise good or not. Rather than writing a program to validate the UI, always we do UI testing, usability testing, security testing, almost all non-functional testing activities carried out manually, except load and performance testing. For doing load and performance testing, we have a tool like load runner and JMeter. So finally, conclusion here, functional testing can be automated, load and performance testing can be automated. Rest of the testing activities in real time also we do with manual effort. So what types of testing can be automated as per my discussion? Functional testing can be automated. Load and performance testing can be automated. For automating functional testing, we have a set of tools in the market like Selenium, QTP, Test Partner, Renorex, Watir, etc. But here, Selenium is an open source, free software. That too, Selenium has lots of features, lots of programming compatibility and flexibility. Hence, last 8-9 years, companies have moved to Selenium because of its open source and it is because of its programming flexibility. So here, for automating functional testing areas in a project, there are many softwares available in the market. Selenium is a freeware, open source tool, QTP, Test Partner, Test Complete, all are commercial product. As there is a very good software available, that too it is a free, it has programming flexibility, it supports all operating systems, all web technologies available in the market. Hence, completely almost 95% of the automation testing today is happening using only one tool, that is Selenium. Hence, in our training also we have opted Selenium for function test automation. Well, coming to the functional testing. At first, we need to identify various functionalities in our project. Consider Gmail application example. Gmail application. New user registration, one functionality. Login, sending an email, receiving an email, etc. If you test all the functionalities, this approach is called functional testing. Validating various functional requirements of the product can be called as functional testing. This functional testing can be performed manually, also using the tools. The functional testing activity can be carried out with manual effort, also using the tools. Here, manual testing. You know, if any of the testing activity carried out with manual effort, we test not using any programming or testing tools, such approach is called manual testing. If any testing activity carried out with manual effort, that is called manual testing. In simple words, if you test an application without writing any program, without using any software testing tools, then it is called manual approach, manual testing. Then what is automation testing? Is how we test. If you test the functionalities of a software using the tools like QTP or Selenium, then it is called automation testing. So finally, here we have two options. We can test either manually. Also, we have some softwares available in the market for automating these testing activities. See here. Say, for example, if I am working on a very simple project like a school management system, like a hospital management system, The examples I took, school management system, hospital management system will have a maximum of 20, 30 functionalities, not more than that. Or a supermarket billing software, a college management system, library management system, employee attendance management software. Few features, very simple features. I'm testing a very small application where there are very limited number of features. Manual testing would be the better choice here. Because coming to automation testing, we have to write a program to test the feature. See, don't think automatically when you press some button on the Selenium, automatically Selenium will do testing. Never. Never. If that is the case, we no need to learn the Selenium. Correct? We have to write a program which executes the test procedures and produce the test output, working or not working. Finally, we have to write programs to validate various functionalities in a project. You answer me, in the chat box you answer me, manually testing would be easy, or writing a program for validating a functionality would be easy. You answer me. Supposing I want to test Gmail login. Manually testing Gmail login would be easy, or writing some programs to test Gmail login would be easy. You ping me your answer in the chat box. Yes, yes, yes. Excellent. Almost all people have answered manual. Good, very good. Because we no need to write any program. Just we open the application, we enter some username, we enter some password, and click submit button and check it's working or not. You no need to write any code. You no need to have any technical skill also. When it comes to automation testing, we have to write a program to validate the functionality. Correct? We have to declare some variables. We need to write some programming statement. We have to implement a test condition, if condition, some loop, etc., etc. We have to fetch some data from Excel. We have to fetch some test data from database or whatever. Really, writing a program is little difficult when you compare with manual testing approach. Then the question raises here, why to go for automation? See, manual testing does not require any technical programming skill. What we need in manual testing, if you want to do manual testing, first we need to have the knowledge about the product. What is the product? What are the modules available? What are the features available? Who are going to use it? How they are going to use it? By gaining the knowledge about the product, by understanding the end user expectation, we document the test procedures, what to test, how to test cases. Then we document the test cases in very simple English. We are not writing any Java programs or Python program. We are documenting step 1, invoke the application. Step 2, enter username, enter password, click submit. In simple English, we are documenting the test procedure. Then we follow the test procedure to validate the functionality. We are not writing any program. So you does not require any programming knowledge for doing manual testing. Right. When it comes to automation testing, we have to write a program, I said, for test execution. Writing a program needs technical knowledge, programming knowledge. Definitely, it is little complex when you compare with manual testing. Then still today, mostly companies are preferring to go with automation testing. Why? Automation testing is little difficult comparatively with manual testing, but still why companies are preferring to go with automation testing? Listen this one. Look at this slide. You know, today most of the projects are incremental model projects. You clearly understand the slide, I will explain. Try to understand these images. First only, in the first diagram, In order to build a car, at first phase, only the front wheel portion was completed. Second phase, back wheels also added to the front wheels. Then something else was added. Finally, we built a car. There are many steps, many stages, many phases otherwise involved in building a successful completed product. If I am building a big product, not a school management system, not a hospital management system, if I am building a big product like a ERP software, if you consider SAP ERP, there are about, to my knowledge, there are about 92 modules. Purchase one module, inventory one module, sales and distribution one module, payroll one module, HRMS one module, accounts one module, finance one module, production management one module, fixed assets one module. There are n number of modules available in a ERP product. Similarly, if you consider a banking application like ICICI Bank operations, you know most of the banks in India and abroad are using Infosys product Finacle. It has about almost 100 plus modules. 100 plus modules, yes. The ICICI Bank, most of the banks in India and abroad are using Infosys product, which is Finacle. It has 100 plus modules. Do you think within a month or 2 months or 3 months at one stage, at one particular phase, can we build a banking product or a ERP product or a e-commerce platform like Amazon? Possible? At a single phase, can we able to build a ERP or e-commerce kind of platforms? Not at all possible. For this reason, I given this slide here. Any product will be built step by step, stage by stage. In Agile model, sprint 1, maybe first 1 week, we plan, we build this part, test it. Then second sprint, second part, third part, fourth part. So slowly system will be implemented module by module. A big project divided into modules. Every module further divided into small components called sprints. Sprint by sprint system gets implemented. Well, assume that in the first sprint, only one requirement was implemented. At sprint 1, only one requirement was implemented. Say only one requirement was implemented, that is assumption. Once sprint 1 development completed, that requirement need to be tested. Okay, tested. We have demonstrated to the client. Only requirement alone. Client said, okay, agreed. Then second sprint implementation starts. Second requirement was implemented. Second requirement added to the first sprint. Now the modified version has requirement 1 and requirement 2. So here requirement 1 need to be tested, which is already tested in the first phase. But after adding a new requirement, old requirement need to be tested. Newly added requirement also need to be tested. Again, we have demonstrated to the client. Client agreed. Then next sprint, requirement 3 added. After adding requirement 3 to the existing system, requirement 1, requirement 2, requirement 3 also need to be tested, because today, you know, mostly almost all features are interconnected. Nowadays applications like ERP, like this Amazon platform, like banking application, 80 to 85% of the features almost integrated features, interconnected features. So anything modified, any new things are added, most of the areas need to be once again tested. What actually it is called? In testing concept, what it is called? There is a name for this approach. Well said. Retesting, regression testing. Excellent. So in every modified version, in every modified version, some retesting activities and regression testing activities need to be carried out. Say, we are working on some agile model project. Every 10 days or every 15 days, a new build is getting constructed. Doing retesting, regression testing on every modified version manually will definitely become very difficult. I repeat my statement again. Say we are working on agile model project where every week or every 15 days, a new version getting created. Every 10-15 days, a new version getting compiled where there are many features need to be retested. So performing this retesting, regression testing manually every time, which is a repetitive task item, doing this repetitive testing manually every time demands lots of time and effort. But maybe after next Friday, I have to release the product to my client. I have to demonstrate the product to my client. But there are many activities to be tested again. Many functionalities need to be retested. Because of no time, I may not able to perform 100% retesting and regression testing manually. But without doing retesting, regression testing, delivering the modified version to the client, always there is a risk associated. So without doing retesting, regression testing, delivering the modified version to the client, there is a risk associated. So we must perform this retesting and regression testing job. But in every 10 days, every 15 days, doing retesting, regression testing manually demands lots of time and effort, which increase my project budget. So this is a practical reason why we are preferring today automation testing. Is we test the functionalities. First, we identify what are all the various important features in our product. We identify various important features in our product which need to be repetitively tested. Look at this one. Identifying various important functionalities in the product which need to be repetitively tested. Retesting and regression testing areas in our project. Then we develop some automation programs using Selenium or QTP or whatever to test all these important features, to test retesting and regression testing scenarios in my project using Selenium or QTP kind of tools. I develop automation programs and make them ready, make them available. Hereafter, whenever a modified version given, instead of I check the functionalities manually, already some programs are created to validate the functionalities. So by running the developed programs, I perform testing on a modified version. This approach is called making testing process automated, automation testing. In very simple words, making your QA testing activity automated using the tools like Selenium and QTP is called test automation. First, we need to identify retesting functionalities, regression testing functionalities in our project. In simple words, what needs to be repetitively tested task items we have to list out. Then develop automation programs to validate all these features, make them ready. Whenever a modified version given is a we test, already we have created some programs to test. These approaches is called test automation. In very simple words, making testing activity automated using some tools available in the market like QTP and Selenium is called automation testing, test automation. I hope you understood the definition. So till this point clear? I hope. Well, so what is the major advantage of going for automation testing? So definitely automation testing is very faster when you compare with manual testing. Agree? Automation testing faster when you compare with manual testing. And repeatable. Repeatable. One time you put your effort, created the programs and make them ready, every week, every 10 days, you are getting a modified version, no issues. Just by running the programs, we can execute them. We can test the feature. Any number of times you can execute automation test cases, repeatable, reusable. If I create automation programs in a very generic way, not specific to one application, same programs I can reuse for other projects also. I repeat, automation test cases are reusable for other projects also. Consider a very simple example. Any application you take, either Facebook application, Google application, or any other application. What is the first step in validating any kind of feature in this application? Invoking the browser, either Firefox or Chrome, deleting the cookies. After validating the functionalities, closing the browser. You take Gmail application, Facebook application, IRCTC application, or any other application. First, we have to invoke the browser, delete the cookies, validate the functionality, then finally close the browser. Now, I created a Java method function to invoke a application. Just I pass the URL, whatever the URL I supply, such application will be invoked by my code. I created some code to delete the cookies. I created some code to close the available browser in the desktop. The same code I can use for other projects also, correct? So the major advantages of automation testing fast in execution, repeatable, and reusable. These are the major advantages. Sir, because of having these many advantages, we cannot skip manual testing because everything cannot be automated. For example, in some functionality, I have a captcha. No software can read the captcha value, right? Definitely manually, which needs to be tested. So automation testing is additional support to speed up the testing activity, not a replacement for manual testing because everything cannot be automated. Wherever there is a chance to automate in my project, I automate. If there is no chance to automate, no doubt, we have to go with manual approach. Well, now, look at some automation test cases I have created for my previous batches. So this is what we have to learn down the line. Listen here. At first, I'm taking this application, rnhrm.qatech.com. In this application, I want to test a functionality, this login working or not. I entered a valid username. I entered a valid password. I'm doing manually. Manual testing will go like this. I tested the functionality, admin login. Yes, admin login working. Admin login working. Okay. I tested admin login functionality with only valid inputs. I given a valid username, valid password. What next you tell me? You ping me your answer in chat box. What next? Even we have to test the same admin login by giving valid username, wrong password, wrong username, valid password, wrong username, wrong password, etc. Okay. Okay. So manually testing, I have to enter a correct username, wrong password, click login. Okay. Then I have to enter a wrong username, correct password, login. Okay, it is showing appropriate error message. Then I'm giving a wrong username, I'm giving a wrong password, click login. Now only one feature login tested. Then there is one more scenario in the product, new employee registration. Now I am testing the new employee registration manually. I log in as a registered user, admin. I went to PIM module. Here I have a functionality called add employee. I click add employee. Then here I enter some username. First name. I'm giving some last name. I click save button. The employee name I have given Richard something. Then in order to confirm the employee registered successfully or not, I go to employee list back. Here I type the new employee I have created. I click search button. Yes, it is showing the information. The new employee registered successfully, it is showing the information. Okay. Now this is how you know manual testing will go. Then we have to log out. Right. So now even employee registration also I tested only with the valid data. I have to again check with even invalid data also. Okay, like this manual testing go, you know about it. You know manual testing will go like this, correct? Now, see, I close that application. See in my desktop, only this Eclipse, Java. In fact, Selenium also I associated. Tomorrow we talk about the Selenium. What is Selenium in detail? Just I'm showing you what is the advantage of automation testing. Here, I have some automation projects which I have created for my previous batches. Here, there are different ways of developing automation test cases for a project. You know, waterfall model is one way of software development. V model, another way of software development. Agile model is another way of software development. They are called software development frameworks. In the same way, automation test cases also can be implemented for a project in different ways. They are called automation test frameworks. Modularity, one way of developing automation test cases for a project. Modularity framework, data-driven testing, hybrid framework, Cucumber approach, Cucumber framework. There are different ways of developing automation test cases for a project. For the same project, I have implemented automation test cases in different ways. Okay, here. This is what we are going to learn down the line, how to create all this kind of stuff. Here, in the package, I have a test case here, admin login test case. And here I have one more program, employee registration test case. Similarly, I have user registration test case, employee login test case. I can run the test cases one by one manually, meaning I can execute these programs one by one. Instead, I grouped all these programs into one XML file. You do observe here, RNHRM test suite. You know, suite meaning a collection of test cases. Here I have a group of test cases. First one, admin login test case. I have parameterized some test data here. Second one, employee registration test case. Previously, admin login, employee registration, I tested manually, right? Now, let me run this code and see what happens. I'm executing the suite, collection of test cases. Observe what is happening. Say I'm not operating anything. Automatically, my Selenium code testing the given functionalities automatically one by one. See, my code testing the admin login functionality, tested, test case one executed. The test case one is admin login. Now my code executing the second test case. That is employee registration. I have given some test data like this. See, I'm not doing anything. My code testing the functionalities one by one. Done. See, now how many test cases are executed? These two test cases are executed by the Selenium. I was not executed the test cases. My code, Selenium code, have executed the test cases. Test suite was executed. Total 2 test cases are executed. No fail, no skip, meaning 2 test cases are passed. See another format of the report here. My code automatically generated some reports. RNHRM test suite was executed. 2 test cases are executed and the 2 test cases are passed. 2 test cases are executed. 2 test cases are passed. Admin login test case, new employee registration test case. The admin login test case was executed using the input data. Admin, QH123. Test data also displayed in the results. And new employee registration test case. The new employee registration test case. So finally, the 2 test cases were executed. Okay. Finally, the 2 test cases were executed and we are getting the results in this format. Okay. It is called actually TestNG framework. Okay. There is other way of developing automation test cases here. So we have to learn all this. Just I'm introducing you. I mean, we have to concentrate on all these topics. Now here, in some Excel file, I have recorded all my test cases. I have recorded all my test cases in Excel sheet. Check admin login, check employee registration, check user registration, check employee login. You know, the corresponding test step I have documented in the second sheet. Test procedure available here. Sorry. Test case 1 step, test procedure, including the test data. Second test case, all test cases information available here. Now, in the Excel sheet, I am deciding what are the test cases I want to execute. Supposing I want to execute these 2 test cases, admin login, employee registration. I do not want to execute these 2 test cases in the current version. In the Excel file, I have decided what are the test cases I want to run. I have selected these 2 test cases. I do not want to run these 2 test cases this moment. Okay. I close the Excel file. Here I'm executing that main test. See what happens. Okay. Sorry. Just a minute. Okay. No worries. I'm executing the program. Now your program will read the test cases and test data available in the Excel file, execute the test cases, update the results in the same Excel file or in some other Excel file. Check out. The other way of developing automation test cases. Previously, our code generated some HTML reports. Now I am updating the results in the Excel reports. Done. After execution, here there is a folder created, file created, test results. Let's see this file, test results. 2 test cases are executed, pass. The last 2 test cases are not selected for execution block. Whatever the test steps available in the Excel sheet are executed using the input data, whatever available here, using this input data. I hope you have observed the input data, it was entered while creating employee Kumar, something. It has executed the test cases, updating the step results, and updating the test case summary. This is other way of developing automation test cases. It is called hybrid framework. Similarly, recently companies are following Cucumber framework, where you are going to document your automation test cases in a simple English like this. This is other way of developing automation test cases. The feature to be tested, admin login. I want to use this template to validate admin login. Procedure available here. Here I have given a valid username, valid password. Here I have given some test data, valid username, wrong password, wrong username, correct password, wrong username, wrong password, something like this. It's a very simple approach of developing automation test cases using Selenium. Last 6 months, companies are mostly following the Cucumber framework. It is also called BDD framework for implementing Selenium test cases. Okay, let me run this. So we have to learn all this stuff. Slowly we have to learn. Almost I need 40 sessions to complete this. In the 40 sessions, we are going to learn one by one slowly how to create this kind of automation test cases. Now, I'm running this program. Same thing, for same RNHRM application, I have implemented automation test cases in different ways. Because this is the expectation. The interviews also will ask you, do you know TestNG framework? Do you know hybrid framework? Do you know Cucumber framework? Do you know data-driven testing? All this we are going to learn. Now it was executed. Also, it is producing the results here. Maybe it was executed only with the valid data. Okay. So I have given an option, only execute the first scenario. Now here scenario meaning there are 2 scenarios here. Tag 1, admin login with valid data. Tag 2, admin login with invalid data. Previously I have mentioned only execute tag 1. I removed it. Now the 2 tags meaning 2 scenarios will be executed. Check. Now it is a scenario checking admin login with valid data. Done. Now it is running the second scenario. checking admin login with invalid data. That valid username, wrong password, whatever. Just I'm highlighting you different ways of developing automation test cases. Here we have not developed, already I have created, just I'm executing it. You do observe, if I want to test this scenario manually, it needs lots of time. Even preparing test report also needs lot of time. Now you do observe, it generated a report after execution. There is an advanced concept called extent report. I have generated this time reports using extent reports. One feature exit tested. Which feature tested? Admin login. Just a minute. Refresh it. Admin login was tested. Even it produced a test report here. This kind of rich reports will be automatically executed, prepared. One moment. Yeah, don't worry. So we'll see later. I mean, it has to update the second report also. We'll see where is extra. Well, finally, manual testing is a time-consuming job, demands lots of time and effort, whereas it is all one-time effort. If I run one more time, again this will be executed. If I run one more time, again this will be executed. If I run one more time, Selenium will not question me. Just 2 minutes back only I have executed, why I have to execute again? It simply execute. This is called automation testing is repeatable. See, same programs I can use, some of the programs I can use for other projects also, reusable. Automation testing is very faster in execution when you compare with manual testing. These are the major advantages of automation testing, and precisely listen, carefully listen. Today, mostly 90% of our implementation is Agile and Scrum model. Agree with me? Today, mostly softwares are getting implemented following Agile model and Scrum model. In this Agile model, in this Scrum model, every 1 week, every 10 days, or maximum every 15 days, a new sprint, a new version will be created. Whenever a new version created, newly added features to be tested, previously existing features also need to be again tested. We are working on a very big platform like Amazon, banking, insurance, e-commerce, ERP. Frequently some changes are happening. Whenever some changes are happened, system need to be retested. Instead of doing this retesting, regression testing manually every time, it is better to go for automation. Especially if you consider Agile model project, 100% automation testing you have to follow for Agile model project, because manually testing is impossible or impractical, especially for Agile model projects. So where we have identified there is a big demand for automation testing, Selenium. Why Selenium? What are the other tools available in the market? We'll discuss tomorrow. The first session, I have given a small introduction. And from today onwards, I will drive in this way. Every day, last 5-10 minutes, we can focus for the questions and answers related to the same session. Right, today, majorly, I have covered this topic. Completely theory part only. Still, if you have any questions, you can post me, I clarify. Then we conclude for today. Tomorrow, I'll give you the introduction about the Selenium. What is Selenium? Why Selenium? why, what is Java, how much Java required, we'll discuss tomorrow in detail. So almost we know about what is testing. So every application need to be tested. What to be tested? Functional requirements, non-functional requirements of the system. But any application, the high priority and first priority goes to functional testing. These functional testing can be performed manually, also using the tools like Selenium and QTP. If really we are working on a very small project, yes, we go with manual testing because I feel writing programs is waste of time and money for testing a smaller application. If I am working on a bigger project, a big project cannot be implemented at one phase. It will be implemented in multiple phases, incremental model. So whenever a new version compiled, some new things were added to the existing system, some retesting and regression testing activities to be carried out. Instead of doing this retesting, regression testing manually every time, we choose to go with automation testing, that is test automation. This is what I said. A big project cannot be built at one stage. Multiple phases are involved in building a car, similarly in building a big project. After adding a new component, new requirement, again the system need to be tested. Doing this testing manually every phase will become very tedious, demands lots of time and effort. Hence, we prefer to go for automation testing. So what is majorly automation testing? If I'm working on a banking product, first I need to identify various important functionalities in my banking product which need to be repetitively tested on every modified build. I list out them. Then I develop automation program to validate the scenario. I make all automation programs ready. Hereafter, whenever a modified version given to me, instead of I test the functionalities manually, already some programs are created to test the functionalities. I run the programs to test them. This approach is called test automation. In very simple words, making testing process automated using the tools like Selenium and QTP. There are different ways of developing automation test cases. TestNG framework, Cucumber framework, hybrid framework, page object model, data-driven testing, something like this. I have just shown you something. So in order to build such kind of programs, I have executed already created programs. But here we have to learn how to create such kind of program. For that, we need to learn some Java. Also, we need to learn the Selenium. Tomorrow we talk about technicals, Java, Selenium, how much Java required, what kind of Java required, and everything in detail. Right. Yes, I am available for next 10 minutes. You can post your question if you have. Here, there is a question from the Kiran. Sir, how we give test data in automation testing? Listen, Kiran. You do observe here, in my previous approach, the question here, where we maintain the test data, how we pass the test data in automation testing is the question. You please refer this and tell me where you maintain the data. In Excel sheet. Mostly in Excel sheet. Mostly in Excel sheet. Using Java and Apache Poi, we fetch the data from Excel. Through the Selenium, we drive the test data to the application under test. We learn this in detail. Any other question? Yes, any other question? other programming languages. See, tomorrow we'll discuss about this. See, Selenium supports Java, C#, Python. We can use Selenium with Java combination for testing. We can also use Selenium with Python combination. We can also use Selenium with C#.NET combination. But mostly 80 to 85% of the automation testing projects today are running on Selenium with Java combination because thousands of open source libraries readily available for Java. Hence, mostly people go with Selenium and Java combination. Supposing if you want to use Selenium with Python, you no need to learn Selenium again. Whatever the Java concept we are learning, same Java, how to you perform that using Python, we have to concentrate. And do remember, friends, Selenium for Java, Selenium for Python, Selenium for C#. We don't have Selenium multiple version. We have only one Selenium. That Selenium you can copy into either Java or Python or C#. So if you want to implement Selenium with Python, you no need to learn Selenium again. Only you have to learn how to declare variables in Python. Whatever the Java we are going to learn, same concept we have to learn with the Python and C# if you want to go with other programming languages. What is the question, Asif? No knowledge about Selenium Cucumber hybrid. You no need to have the knowledge. Just I have executed previously available programs. What I'm trying to highlight, this is what we are going to learn down the line because this is the expectation. This is the job expectation. Companies want to give a Selenium testing job to you. They expect this kind of stuff from you. That I have demonstrated. For implementing such kind of automation test cases, yes, we are here for learning. Any other question? Do we need any knowledge on Java for this course? So very clear, without having Java knowledge, you cannot develop automation test cases. But here, I'm not putting any prerequisite that you need to have Java first. See, you are going to observe from day after tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to teach you the Selenium and basic concept. I teach you Java, whatever required for Selenium. Then we go one by one, step by step. I'm not putting any precondition that you need to have Java knowledge. Whatever the Java required for Selenium testing, I am going to teach as a part of this training. So tomorrow, that is what we are going to see. What is the need of Java for Selenium and how much Java we need, what kind of Java we need. We are going to conclude this tomorrow. Any other question? So definitely, from only the video recording to create the video recording. So, we are using a cloud software, GoToMeeting. GoToMeeting people will take minimum 2 hours of time to send it to us in our email. Then our people need to upload into the Google Drive. A maximum of 4 hours of time I need to upload the videos into the drive, we upload. Any other questions? What is Cucumber and why we use Cucumber? The Cucumber is a user-friendly approach of developing automation test cases. We learn all this in detail. Cucumber is a plugin for Selenium. It is a framework that has some built-in features for automation. Cucumber framework. It is a framework which has some built-in features for automation testing, which help us in easily developing and executing automation test cases for a project. If you are really working on Scrum model project, definitely your project manager demands you implement Cucumber framework. Definitely maybe within, it's a big concept. Almost I need 1 week time to explain the Cucumber and Cucumber framework. That time we see in detail about Cucumber implementation. Because in Agile model, see, listen, look at this one. First, waterfall model approach is different, agile model approach is different. In waterfall model, we focus on testing after the development, whereas in agile model, altogether it is a teamwork. Development team will explain how they are going to implement the product. QA team need to explain how they are going to test the product before testing. First, we document our test steps in a simple English like this. We explain to our Scrum Master. Once it is approved, then we start implementation. For this kind of automation test implementation, there is a ready-made framework available in Selenium called Cucumber. We learn how to implement this. See here, we learn Java, we learn Selenium, we learn using Apache Poi for automating Microsoft Excel operation. We learn TestNG. Also, we learn Maven, Jenkins, GitHub. All this we have to learn. Maven we have to learn. Jenkins we have to learn. GitHub integration we have to learn, because see here, my code available, whatever the code I have demonstrated available in my D drive or C drive. But what about in a company? In a company, multiple people will be working, correct? In a company, multiple people will be working. See this. When multiple people are working, you must have the code in a central location. For project management purpose, for resource management purpose, we use a tool called Maven. All team members will upload the day-to-day code into a central repository called Git. Jenkins is a server which pull the code from the Git, integrate the code, and execute the test cases on the modified version. It's a completely infrastructure automation. GitHub, Maven, and Jenkins. In addition to Java and Selenium, we are going to even learn these kind of tools also. Well, still any other questions? No doubt there are many technical components need to be learned. We learn all one by one. Any other questions? Well, thank you. Today I stop here, and this video will be uploaded by the morning, at least in the first hour today, first hour tomorrow, sorry. And day-to-day videos will be shared to your Google Drive. We log off for today. Take care. Stay home, stay safe, and we continue tomorrow. Thank you. Good night.
Unmuted.